You know that moment when someone asks you, "So, do you go to church?" and you freeze? You don't know if it's a test, a trap, or just small talk. Most learners think religion is a topic you avoid in America. Actually, it comes up all the time. But the way Americans talk about it is completely different from what you might expect. And if you answer wrong, it can sound really awkward. Today, I'm going to give you the exact phrases that keep you neutral, natural, and comfortable in any conversation about faith.
Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Like a Native. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. Let's get into it.
Maya, I have to admit something. When I first moved to the US, the religion thing was confusing. I come from a culture where you just don't ask people about their beliefs, it's private. So the first time a coworker said I'm praying for you after I mentioned a tough week, I didn't know how to respond. I think I said thanks, I guess, and it came out weird.
That's actually a perfect example. A lot of people from more secular cultures feel that same confusion. So let's break this down. First, the most important distinction you need to understand in American culture, the difference between spirituality and religion.
Okay, I've heard that. I'm spiritual but not religious. What does that even mean?
Great question. In American English, religious often implies organized religion, going to a church, mosque, or temple regularly, following to specific rules, belonging to a specific denomination. Spiritual means you believe in something bigger than yourself, but you don't necessarily follow an organized system. This distinction is huge and it's becoming more and more common in America.
So if someone asks me about my faith, I can say I'm spiritual but not religious, and that's normal?
That is one of the most natural, safe, and widely accepted answers in American culture right now. Let me give you a real scenario. Imagine you're at a work lunch. Your colleague Sarah just got back from a retreat. She says, "The meditation retreat really helped me reset. I'm not super religious, but I feel more connected to something." If you say, "Oh, I'm spiritual but not religious too," now you have a connection. You didn't have to say you believe in the same God. You didn't have to say you go to church. You just met her where she was.
That actually feels comfortable, like I'm not forced into a box.
Exactly, and that is key. Americans generally hate feeling boxed in. So the phrase "I'm spiritual but not religious" is a very respectful, very American way to engage without commitment.
Okay, but what if I'm from a culture where religion is very structured, like I was raised Muslim, but I don't practice anymore? How do I say that without sounding like I'm rejecting my family or my culture?
That is a brilliant question. And this is where a second key phrase comes in. I was raised X. So you say I was raised Muslim, or I was raised Catholic, or I was raised Buddhist. This phrase communicates this is my background, this is my cultural heritage, but it doesn't say anything about what I believe right now. It's honest, it's respectful, and it gives the other person a clear picture without you having to declare your current beliefs.
Wow, so I was raised is like a magic shield.
It really is. Let me give you another example. You're at a dinner party. Someone asks, "What's your religious background?" You can say, "I was raised Hindu, but I don't practice actively now." The person understands immediately. They know your cultural context. They're not going to push for more. And if they do push, that's actually rude. And you have a third phrase ready.
Okay, what's the third phrase?
I don't really talk about that, but I respect everyone's journey.
Say that again.
I don't really talk about that, but I respect everyone's journey.
That is so smooth. It sets a boundary without being confrontational.
Exactly. And that's the American way. We value respect for individual beliefs. So if you say, "I respect everyone's journey," you're communicating, "I'm not judging you. Please don't judge me." It's a very polite way to close the topic without closing the relationship.
Okay, I want to try all three. Let me practice. Scenario: someone at a networking event asks, "Do you go to church around here?"
Perfect example. Go ahead.
I say I was raised Buddhist, but I'm more spiritual than religious these days. I respect everyone's journey. How was that?
That is genuinely excellent. You sound like someone who has thought about this. Natural, confident, and respectful. One small tweak. Instead of more spiritual than religious, the most common phrasing is, "I'm spiritual but not religious." It's a fixed phrase. People use it as a single unit.
I'm spiritual but not religious. Got it.
Now, here's the part that surprises most people. Americans actually bring up faith in daily conversation much more often than people from many other cultures. But it's not usually direct, it's subtle.
Give me an example of subtle.
You're at your desk on a Monday morning. A coworker asks, "How was your weekend?" You say, "It was okay. My mom's been in the hospital." Your coworker says, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll keep her in my prayers." That is extremely common in many parts of America, even from people who don't know you well.
So how do I respond to that if I'm not religious?
I appreciate that. Thank you. That's it. You don't have to say, "Please do pray for her," or "Prayers don't work." You just accept the kindness. I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's actually beautiful. Like they offered something from their heart and I just accept it gracefully.
Exactly. And that is one of the most important social skills in America, accepting a religious gesture gracefully when you don't share the belief. The wrong move is to correct them or argue. The right move is to appreciate the intention.
Okay, I've definitely made that mistake before. Someone said, "God bless you," after I sneezed. And I said, "I don't believe in God." Ah, that was awkward.
You're not alone. Many learners from secular backgrounds do that. And after this episode, you'll never do it again. Instead, you say thank you or you too if you want to be friendly.
Thank you is enough, even if I don't believe.
In America, "God bless you" after a sneeze is almost like a reflex. It's not a theological statement, it's just the socially expected thing to say. So thank you is perfect. Some people even say "bless you" back, which has become secular enough that anyone can say it.
Let me ask about something else. What about holidays, like Christmas? I celebrate Christmas culturally. I put up a tree, I give gifts, but I'm not Christian. How do I explain that?
That is incredibly common in America. You just say "I celebrate Christmas culturally," or "we do the secular side of Christmas." Americans completely understand this. Actually, a lot of Americans who don't go to church still celebrate Christmas. So you're describing something very normal.
So I can say, we don't go to church, but we do the tree and presents.
Perfect. And if someone asks, "Are you Christian?" you can say, "I was raised in a Christian culture, but I don't practice." Or, "My family celebrates Christmas culturally."
This is so helpful because I used to feel like I had to lie or avoid the question.
Right. And that's the problem most learners face. They either overshare, "Actually, I'm atheist, and I think all religion is problematic," which can come across as aggressive, or they shut down completely, "I don't talk about that," which can feel cold. The middle path is what I'm teaching you today. Simple, respectful phrases that invite connection without demanding explanation.
Let's talk about a mistake I hear from other learners. What about people who say, "I don't do religion"?
Oh, that's a good one. "I don't do religion" is very informal and can sound dismissive. It's like saying "religion, not interested." In some contexts, it's fine among close friends who share your view. But in a professional or mixed setting, it sounds negative. Better to say, "I'm not particularly religious," or "I'm more on the spiritual side." Both are neutral.
What about Spanish speakers? I have a friend from Mexico who says, "I believe in God, but I'm not a church person." Does that work?
That actually works very well in American English. "I'm not a church person" is a natural phrase. It means I have faith, but I don't attend services regularly. It's very common and respected.
And for Chinese speakers? I know a lot of Chinese learners say, "I have no religion," very directly.
"I have no religion" is grammatically correct, but it can sound a bit stark. In American culture, no religion sometimes implies you're against religion. A softer way is "I don't have a particular religion," or "I wasn't raised with any religion." That opens the door for the other person to understand your background.
What about Arabic speakers? Many Muslim learners say, "I'm Muslim" directly. Is that okay?
Yes, saying "I'm Muslim" is perfectly natural. Americans understand that, but if you want to clarify your level of practice, you can add "I'm Muslim, but I'm not very observant," or "I'm a practicing Muslim." Both are clear.
This is gold. I feel like I could navigate a whole dinner party now.
You could. And here's the thing, once you have these phrases, you don't have to be afraid of the topic. And when you're not afraid, you sound more confident. And when you sound more confident, people enjoy talking to you more.
Let me run through the 3 key phrases one more time. First, I was raised to explain background without commitment. Second, I'm spiritual but not religious for a neutral, modern position. Third, I don't really talk about that, but I respect everyone's journey to set a boundary gracefully.
Perfect summary. And one bonus phrase. I appreciate that when someone offers prayers or blessings.
All right, I want to do a practice round. You ask me questions, and I answer using these phrases. Ready?
Ready. Question 1. Do you celebrate Easter?
I celebrate it culturally. We do an egg hunt with the kids, but not really the religious side.
Good. Very natural. Question 2. Someone says, I'll pray for you about your job interview.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Question 3. What church do you go to?
I was raised Catholic, but I'm more spiritual these days.
Beautiful. You sound like a native speaker. Who has thought about this? That last one is especially good because it answers the question honestly and gracefully moves forward.
I have to say, this episode changed my mindset. I used to dread this topic. Now I feel equipped.
That's the goal. And this is exactly why we created the Culture Decoded series. Because language isn't just words, it's understanding the social rules behind the words. Once you understand those, you stop second-guessing every conversation.
If you want more episodes like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We release a new episode every day in each series.
And here is your takeaway for today. Religion comes up in American life more than you might expect, but you don't need to share your deepest beliefs. You just need 3 phrases. I was raised for background, I'm spiritual but not religious for neutrality, and I appreciate that for grace. These 3 phrases will carry you through any conversation about faith in America. Try them this week. See how they feel.
Thanks for listening to Speak Like a Native. We'll see you in the next episode. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep sounding natural.
Bye for now.
Bye.